What do you do? Dream Team, it's your boy D Neil back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with 5 things Americans do that Germans find weird. Back with our girl Feli from Germany. I'm ready to dive into this and see what we do. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested.
Germany and the US have a lot in common, and when I first moved here, I didn't really experience a huge culture shock. But there were definitely things that, as a German, I found really weird. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. About half a year ago, I made a video about 5 things Germans do that Americans find weird, but of course, this also works the other way around. And over the years, I've come across a pretty good amount of things that are totally normal to Americans, but weird to Germans. And here are 5 of them. Hey, do you want to grab a coffee with me, like right down the street? Sure, let's go.
I swear to God.
Wait, what are you doing? Getting in the car? No, like it's literally just 2 blocks down the road, like a 5-minute walk. Okay, so this is a situation that actually happened to me during my first few months of living in the US. And since then, I've come to learn that this is way more than just a stereotype. Americans really drive everywhere. At least that's my experience here in the Midwest, where everything is pretty spread out and public transportation is more or less non-existent. In bigger cities like New York, San Francisco, or Chicago, that's different, but here people really have to drive to get places. But the thing is that they even do so when it's not necessary at all, like in the situation I just showed you, or in this situation that I run into with Ben all the time. Okay.
It's guys, it's so true. It is so true. When I was in college, I didn't have a car. Probably my first semester, may have been my whole freshman year. But I was walking so much. I was getting my steps in, walking from class to class, walking to the gym, walking to the caf. I'm walking, and it's not like things are far apart. Like they're not that far apart from each other on campus, right? But oh my Lord, when I got a car. 5 minutes was too long a walk from that point on. I was driving and I could not walk. Walk to the gym? No way. I'm driving. Walk to the caf? I'm driving. Walk to class? Can't do it. I'm driving. I don't. Once we get a car, our mindset just completely shifts, and walking is out of the question from that point.
Showed you, or in this situation that I run into with Ben all the time. Okay, so we just came out of Kroger, and we're trying to go to PetSmart next, which is right over there, like 3 stores over, right? And what are you doing, mister?
Driving.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
And to take this to the next level, Americans also run a lot of their errands without ever leaving their car because there's literally drive-thrus for anything. I mean, I was familiar with drive-thrus at fast food restaurants, but then I come here and I see a drive-thru ATM. Like, what? Why wouldn't you just park, get out of your car, and walk over to the ATM? There are drive-thru pharmacies, that's all.
Drive-thru ATM is just more convenient. Why walk and get out of your car when you don't have to? It's more convenient.
Also how I've had most of my PCR tests over the last few years, just in the car, in the drive-thru. There is drive-thru liquor stores, most coffee shops have a drive-thru, and even drive-thru wedding chapels and funerals are a thing. You really don't ever have to leave your car in this country if you don't want to. Okay, I promise I'm not trying to make fun of Americans. I mean, I do a lot of these things myself when I'm in the US, and I've definitely gotten used to doing this the American way over the last 6 years. But compared to Germany, and I know I said this in the last video, but compared to Germany, where walking is a very normal part of life and everything up to a 20-minute walk is honestly a no-brainer, it was definitely something I had to get used to. And I know that whenever other Germans experience this for the first time, they find it kind of weird as well at first. Another thing that many Germans are...
I didn't know about the funerals and the wedding chapels. I didn't know we had drive-thrus for that. That's crazy.
They're surprised about it first is that a lot of Americans don't speak a second or third language, even though that can be a huge career boost. But most American schools just don't offer a lot of language classes, and students aren't usually required to take more than 2 years of a second language, if that. Well, good thing that italki exists, where you can take customizable one-on-one lessons with certified
I'm gonna skip the sponsor, guys.
teachers that fit your schedule and budget. You can choose from thousands of amazing teachers for over 150 languages, including German, English, Spanish, so 50% off. Oh, my friend just said she's at this party and we should come. Do you want to go? Sure, sounds great. Let me just get changed real quick. In your car? Yeah, just 1 second.
We will. We will.
Wait, you had all of this in your car already? Yeah, you know, just in case. And you have makeup in there? Yeah, don't you? My car makeup. Okay, this one is pretty closely related to my first point, but it just had to be on this list because, guys, it's not an exaggeration when I tell you that Americans live in their cars, which, you know, makes a lot of sense considering that they drive everywhere and therefore spend a lot of time in their cars. But what I was used to from Germany was cars looking somewhat like this most of the time. Maybe there'll be like a couple shopping bags or a blanket or a dog leash or something in the car, but that's about it for most people. While in the US, I've almost never met someone who didn't have half of their closet and half of their belongings in their car. You need a screwdriver? They'll have one in their car. You need a folding table for an event? They'll have one. And when I say they live in their cars, this also includes that some Americans will literally bring their coffee mugs and cereal bowls into their car and eat and drink while driving. And I'm not just talking about to-go cups with a lid. That's standard in the US anyways. And I think the ability to eat a burger and fries while driving on the interstate is ingrained into every American's DNA. But Ben, for example, literally brings regular cups and mugs with Coke or coffee into the car, which makes me so nervous every time. And one time when I got into my friend's car and it smelled kind of weird, she just said, "Oh yeah, I accidentally spilled my cereal in here this morning and I think the milk is starting to smell." She's also someone who will eat noodles with chopsticks while driving. And she's not alone in this country. Disclaimer, of course, there are also Americans who have a very tidy, empty car and who never eat in their car, but it is something that I have seen a lot here, and it was definitely kind of weird to me at first. Okay.
Nah, eating and driving goes hand in hand here in America. You have to master that art of eating and driving. It's it's a part of the culture. And yes, when she says we live in our car, like, she's not lying. Like, genuinely, like, I feel like you spend more time in your car than you do in your actual house or your apartment. Like, it's insane.
So we need mayo, pickles, and milk. Okay, let's see. Here's mayo. Pickles. And here's the milk. What do you want? Whole milk, 1% or 2%? This is one of the things that I literally mentioned in one of my very first videos ever on this channel. Everything is bigger in this country. The streets, the cars, the houses, the stores, the drinks, and even groceries. And if you keep in mind that this is the size of a milk carton in German stores, this is 1 liter, you'll probably understand that a full gallon, which is close to 4 liters, seems a little excessive to us. But of course, a lot of this goes back to the size of this country and how spread out things are. And when people have to drive half an hour or longer to the next grocery store, it makes sense that they'd prefer buying things in bulk so they don't have to go to the store as often. But being from Germany, where it's normal to go to the store more frequently to buy fresh food, I'm still a little confused why someone would need a huge jar of pickles or a giant jar of peanut butter or a full tub of mayo. And why these American onions are so damn big. Thank you guys so much for coming over. I haven't made this dish in so long, especially not for 6 people. Just grab a plate and help yourself. Thank you. How long did this take you? Oh, like all day. And you want us to eat it from paper plates with plastic utensils?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah.
But you have a dishwasher. Okay, this one might not bother all Germans as much as it bothers me, and I know I've brought this up before, but I will just never understand why so many Americans use disposable dishes in situations where, in my opinion, it's really not needed, like at their own home. And I've seen this throughout different
They're always needed. They're always needed. Just don't want to deal with the dishes, but you have a dishwasher. But I don't want to deal with that. Then I gotta put them in the dishwasher. I gotta start the dishwasher. After they're done washing, I gotta take them out the dishwasher, load them put them where they're supposed to go. Where we could everybody could get a plate or a bowl, plastic, paper plate or a bowl. Throw it away when you're done. That's it.
Economic classes and scenarios, from college students using disposable dishes for dinner, even though they do have real dishes in the cabinets, to entire families using disposable dishes on Thanksgiving or Christmas. Now, of course, plastic and paper plates do exist in Germany, but, and I think this applies to other European countries as well, we pretty much only use them in situations where using real dishes really makes no sense at all. Like for a picnic in a park, or maybe for a kid's birthday party where the children might be walking around with their plates, or a huge cookout where you might not have enough dishes. But if I have the option to use a real plate and real silverware, I'll personally always prefer that, because eating from a soggy paper plate with a wobbly plastic fork and a knife that doesn't cut can really ruin the whole eating experience for me. Especially when you've spent a lot of time cooking. I don't understand why people then take away from that with serving the food on a plastic plate. And holidays are honestly the very last occasion that I'd ever use disposable dishes for. Like, if anything, that's when you take out your best dishes in Germany. Which I know a lot of families in the US do as well, but as I said, I've also seen a few different families use disposable dishes on holidays. And the explanation is usually either that they don't have enough plates for a big group, or because they don't want to do the dishes after already having done all of the cooking, which I generally understand, but in most cases when I see this done, it's groups of 10 people or less, or even just one single person on a regular Tuesday night, and I know these households definitely have enough dishes for that. And I've also only ever seen this done in households that had a dishwasher, which is a very standard kitchen appliance in the US, and I personally just don't really see how putting dishes in the dishwasher is that much more work than putting them into the trash can, to be honest. So this is something that I've always found weird, and I know that other Germans and other Europeans do as well. Will I still like you if you serve Christmas dinner on a paper plate? Yes, of course, but it is something I still have to get used to. Good morning!
Yeah, I feel like I got dishes, but they're only for just in case I run out of paper plates. They're only for just in case I run out of paper plates. When I run out, I'll go to my regular dishes until I go buy some more paper plates.
Yes, of course, but it is something I still have to get used to. Good morning, guest! What do you want for breakfast? Do you have some bread? Of course. Here you go. No, not toast, like actual bread. Wait, what do you mean? This is bread. Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about bread. As you might know, Germany is known for the quality and variety of its bread, but here in the US, this is what people consider bread. Of course, you can find German-style bread if you look for it, but it's not the standard, and if you do find some good bread, it's usually really expensive. But for the most part, this is what you'll get in the US when you ask for bread. And honestly, there's simply a communication issue between Germans and Americans here, because this, to a German, is Toastbrot. It's the type of bread that is super soft and that you put into a toaster to make it crunchy. We definitely have that too, but it's not what we mean when we just use the term Brot. That will usually refer to something like this, like a sourdough or Vollkornbrot. Or when we say Brötchen, which means bread roll, we mean something like this. But those are also different from your typical American dinner rolls. They're crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside, and they're definitely not sweet like a lot of the bread you'll find in the US. Like when you go to a nicer restaurant here, for example, where they'll give you a bread basket for the table, it might look pretty good at first, like cut up baguette, but in a lot of cases it's also really soft and oddly sweet. Now, when a German looks for bread in an American store, it'll usually go somewhat like this. Simply put, this is considered a sponge in Germany, not bread. Okay, just kidding. I mean, half kidding. That is really what most Germans think of, but of course that was put a little harshly. It's not like Germans don't understand the cultural difference and the difference in food preferences, and you will even find specifically labeled American sandwich bread in German stores, and people do buy that. But to us Germans, it's definitely weird that what we know as toast bread is just considered regular bread in the US, and I think a lot of us also find it a little weird that there doesn't seem to be any demand in the US for what we consider good bread. What else comes to your mind when you think of things that Americans do that Germans or people from other countries might consider weird? Let me know in the comments below, and of course I also have many more things on my list of weird things that Americans do, and I think I have even more things on my list of weird things that Germans do, so let me know if you want me to publish a part 2 for that. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope my American viewers don't feel attacked too much. I'm sure there will also be a lot of comments from Americans saying that they totally don't do these things, because as always in my videos, these are all generalizations, of course, and the things I mentioned in this video don't apply to every single American or every single German. If you like my content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, activate the notification bell, hit the thumbs up button, and make sure to also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for more content. This is how you can support me and my channel if you want to, and with that, I hope I'll see you next time. Tschüss!
No, we definitely do so much of those things. So much of those things. If we do all, I think she's got American down pat. She's got Americans down perfectly. Yeah. That's just who we are. That's how we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Dini here. Out.